trains, planes, and cars filled with black men headed to D.C. right now. Thousands, right? Thousands. And if I'm a crazy white man in the U.S. government and I want to kill 1 million black men in one fell swoop, just hit one button and boom, when and where would I do it? At the Million Man March. And the next day, when we all dead, who's gonna fight our battle? None but black women left. This is some Holocalystical type shit about to happen, maybe, man. That's what I'm saying. You going?
Who remembers taking them long trips to a place that they felt was important? Well, Get on the Bus is a Spike Lee film that speaks on the relationship between men from various backgrounds, while encouraging us to stick together no matter what the problem is, as these men take the long trip to Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March, sharing each other's stories and experience on what it means to be black in America. Now, we gotta talk about this, as this is a bus ride that these guys will never forget.
What?
Yo, dog, I ain't going.
I'm getting on that bus. Now that means you getting on that bus.
The movie starts off with everyone getting on the bus. You got Junior, who's handcuffed to his dad, complaining about not wanting to go.
If you want to go to the Slauson Swap Meet, the Brentwood Mansion, the LA Zoo, or the La Brea Tar Pits, then your black ass is on the wrong bus. This bad boy is going to Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March.
This brother sounds like my mother.
Well, good, because for the next 6 days, I am your mother.
The bus pulls off as everyone get lit on the bus besides this guy, who I guess is just one of them serious person.
You don't like to be called dog, right?
Junior and his dad begin to have this back and forth about what they like to be called and what they don't like to be called. As you can see, the father-son relationship isn't that good at the moment. Gary, who I realized watching this film, he's in a lot of Spike Lee movies, gets questioned by Xavier on why he's going to the Million Man March while he's also filming him. Then Flips joins in and starts to ask him these uncomfortable questions like where is he from, or is he even black?
Asking, are you mulatto or just light-skinned?
I consider myself black.
If you're raised by at least one black parent, I guess you're down. Half the brothers I know were raised by one black parent.
My mother happens to be white.
I'm pretty sure Gary is considered mixed because he got some black in him. As you could tell, Flip is the loud and cocky one on the bus.
My father was a black man. He was a cop. He got murdered.
That must have tripped you out.
Why did he have to say it like that? At this point, he's trying to get him mad.
Name is Mike.
Yeah.
Represent New York.
Yeah.
I'm not a Muslim.
Yeah.
Still don't eat pork.
Shabuya, shabuya, roll call. Shabuya, shabuya, roll call.
Call me Epic.
Yeah.
Cause I'm on the move.
Yeah.
Don't call me Junior.
Yeah.
But you could call me Smooth.
Roll call.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot, they got Bernie Mac in this movie. As George and the bus driver is talking about life, he almost hits a deer, leaving the bus stuck on sand. Everyone is then told to get off the bus to try to push the bus. Well, you know that failed.
We can't do it.
George begins to give a motivational speech about never giving up, and that is when these guys start to question Junior dad about having his son chained up like a slave. Something that I would ask too, even though it is a court order, it still seems weird having your son in a handcuff. The next bus finally arrives and it's a white man driving the bus. That's when everyone starts to question that we can't go to the Million Man March with a white man driving the bus. You could kinda tell the bus driver himself is kinda second guessing or kinda scared in a way. Flip and Gary ends up having another back and forth about a person being black or white. That's when Jeremiah chimes in and says some valid point.
Hollywood.
Yes?
The man is black. Why don't you just let him be?
He is also white.
If this was slavery, you think old master would care that he was half white? He'd be a slave, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, but he'd be a house slave.
He just will not let this go. Jeremiah's right, he'll be a slave just like the rest of us. Whether it's a house slave or a field slave, he'll still be a slave just like the rest of us. Flip is just one of them person that will not stop until he proves a point or until somebody agree with him.
Nobody asked you, Harriet Tubman, Alice Walker, Angela Davis, Nikki Giovanni, or whatever sister you think you are. Stand by your man. Oh, no, my bad, because actually, you're the man of the relationship.
Flip continues his terrorizing streak and starts going off on Rando and Kyle. He just will not stop talking. Just keep on talking, huh? Bro, at this point, this guy wants to get kicked off the bus. The bus ends up making it to Memphis and everybody stops by the restaurant, which was full of all white people. And then the bus driver ends up billing on everyone, complaining that going to the Million Man March as a white man is a bad look, which now forces George to be the bus driver.
I am a little bit prejudiced against blacks, but no more than you're prejudiced against white people. You want me to stay on and prove how liberal and shit I am? I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And I think affirmative action has been fucked up. I think OJ was guilty.
Bro, what? Why does everyone always gotta bring up OJ's name in a situation like this? Are you gonna drive the bus or not? While everyone is on their way back on the bus, they run into Bunk from The Wire, and he ends up getting on the bus with them to DC.
Cause don't do dick. You niggas something else. nigga. Oh, you niggas.
Once he gets on the bus, the vibes start changing, and just like that, he gets kicked off the bus. See, this is what happens when you do something nice for someone. While Jamal, Flip, and Gary are playing cards, they begin to ask each other what they do for a living. And this is where we find out that Jamal is a former gang member and Gary's a cop. This is where everything starts going downhill, with Jamal telling Gary that they need better cops, and Flip's asking him did he ever pull the Ronnie King. Jamal then gives them a deep story about growing up in the hood and how he turned his life around.
I've been crippin' since I was 12 years old. Gangbanging, that was my job. I used both my hands to count the number of kids that got canceled. I'll run out of fingers.
Like I said, that shit was deep. With Gary being a cop, he then says someone like him should be in jail, while also saying a kid like Jamal killed his dad. The bus ends up getting pulled over in Tennessee by the police, with the cops saying that drugs are getting smuggled into the state. Like, really? Tell us the real reason why you're pulling them over. Gary then flashes his badge saying that he's a cop. The other cop responding that this is Nashville. And just like that, the bus ends up getting searched, and they end up finding nothing, of course.
Fuck Knoxville. Damn, put the kiss my ass.
All right, everybody be cool till we get out of here.
Flip ends up telling everyone that he got an acting position, but no one really cared. Like, at this point, everyone is just tired and ready for the Million Man March. He should just go sit his ass down somewhere. He starts making jokes about Randall and Kyle being a couple, and Kyle end up having enough with this man's shit, and they start fighting. Just look how excited everyone was to see this fight besides Jeremiah. He's the only one that's playing peacemaker. I mean, Flip does need his ass kicked though, so I can understand that. While everyone is gathered around focusing on the fight, Junior, who's not chained up anymore, ends up running off into the woods. This fight will go on for a couple of more seconds before anybody realized that Junior ran off. Stop! Get the hell off of me! How far did this man really think he was gonna go? You gotta remember that you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, anything bad can happen at this point. After Junior ends up getting caught, him and the father end up having a heart-to-heart conversation, with his father taking most of the blame on why their relationship is bad at the moment. It's the next day and the bus finally makes it to Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March. And I mean, everyone from across the world was there for the movement, as they're ready for a change to be made. At this point, everyone is excited that they made it after a long ride. Xavier goes over to wake up Jeremiah with exciting news that they finally made it to the Million Man March, only to find out that Jeremiah wasn't waking up as he was trying to get his attention.
Hold up! It's something wrong with Jeremiah! You alright, man? You gonna be alright? Give us a statement. You gonna be alright? Hey, what happened, man?
As they wait in the hospital for news about Jeremiah, a few of the guys decide to go on to the march while others stayed watching from the hospital. If you look back in the beginning of the movie, you'll see that Jeremiah took something off his wrist. Despite him having trouble with his health, you could tell that this march meant a lot to him. The nurse comes in and breaks the bad news that Jeremiah didn't make it, leaving everyone heartbroken.
Came 3,000 miles just to bury another black man.
The movie ends off with a prayer in Jeremiah's voice as everyone is together.
One of the hired servants. That's what he said. That's all he asked.
To be honest though, Get on the Bus is a classic. It came with a very strong cast. It shows how different we all are with our stories, but coming together for a better cause, as us black people must stick together no matter what. Shout out to Spike Lee and Reuben Cannon for this film. This film was really goated. But that's all I got for y'all though. Peace.